Things are looking pretty heavy right now. And I'm not just saying that because the dual gap is such a complex map. Popiska is absolutely running the show with that 2400 rating. He's basically a final boss at this point. He's got the eco, the T3 air dominance, and those rapid-fire units are starting to make things very uncomfortable for the base. It looks like things are heating up in the bottom right, Roboid. That blue cluster from Popiska is looking incredibly dense. And honestly, with a 2400 rating, we should be taking their presence very seriously. You are currently sitting on a massive amount of overflow, which is essentially like having a full warehouse, but no way to move the goods out. We need to start converting that mass into build power immediately to keep up with the pressure. Tega is doing a decent job holding the line in the naval corridor, but those blue destroyers are a real headache. Well, things are getting quite intense down in the bottom right corner. But this guy is certainly living up to that 2400 rating, and as the chat seems to notice, he is a real beast to deal with. It feels like Robort's team is trying to hold back a literal tidal wave with a bucket. That massive cyan swarm is pushing hard, and while the team is doing their best to hold the line, it is a very heavy lift. The situation is becoming quite intense in the bottom right corner of the map. Popiska is certainly living up to that beastly 2400 rating, and that massive cluster of units is looking incredibly intimidating. Robert, you have a significant mass overflow warning, so we really need to start converting that into something useful as quickly as possible. The situation is developing rapidly in the bottom right sector, and it is becoming clear that Popiska is living up to that high rating. We are seeing a massive concentration of enemy forces pushing into our territory, and the pressure is mounting. Robert is currently grappling with a mass overflow, which is a bit of a logistical headache, but we have to find a way to turn that excess into actual defensive power.
Now we got him.
Looking at the tactical feed, things are becoming incredibly intense in the bottom right corner. Popiska is absolutely living up to that beastly 2,400 rating, orchestrating a massive land and naval push that is putting Robort's team in a very tight there. But it is a heavy lift, with the air situation feeling a bit exposed since our ASFs are down. But the situation on Dual Gap is getting incredibly intense, and honestly, it is starting to feel a bit cursed, as the chat suggests. We are looking at a massive confrontation in the bottom right, where Popiska is putting on a terrifying
That is
display
kind of
force.
good timing.
That 2400 rating is really showing, because the sheer volume of blue units pushing into our territory is staggering. It feels like a coordinated effort to overwhelm our defenses. Things are heating up significantly
But
in the
3
bottom
is
right
not
quadrant.
enough, especially if you want Billy from the right
making their
angle.
presence felt, bringing a massive wall. However, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the beast in the chat.
But we have one more candidate.
It looks like Putin's attempts didn't quite pan out as hoped. Just like the streamer mentioned, we are currently facing a very intense situation in the bottom right corner of the map. Popiska is really showing why that 2,400 rating is so intimidating, pushing a massive cluster of units into our territory. It is honestly a bit overwhelming to see that many red icons moving at once. Robert is dealing with a serious mass overflow right now, which is a real headache when you're trying to keep up with the production needed to hold this line. And the chat is calling this whole situation cursed. And looking at that sheer volume of units, I can see why they feel that way. We really showing why they have that beastly 2,400 rating by pushing a massive land and naval force into our territory. I see the cursor is hovering over a tempest, which is a very